I did my nails today.
With your normal nail tech?
No, I just got press-ons. They're actually a little bit harder.
Oh, I was about to say, did you cheat on your nail tech?
Nah. Actually, I'm trying to get a new nail tech because I'm trying to do gel X nails now, not acrylic, because it's less damaging for your hands.
And is it eco-friendly?
I don't know. Probably. Probably not. But anyways. Sorry, brain fart. But anyways, guys, welcome back. Sorry, I'm a little out of it right now. I had a cup of coffee, so, we're just waiting for that to kick in. It's been a long day. It's also really hot. And I just want to get it out of the way before anyone else tells me shit. I'm just kidding. I'm not. But not for real. I'm just going to get the elephant out of the room already. Yes, we did change the smoke detector in the apartment.
It's about fucking time.
I'm not gonna lie to you. Aldo mentioned it last time, but I was so nervous and so high that it just went over my head. I didn't even notice it, and also because I was just so laser focused on trying to get my thoughts out that I just didn't even notice it. So I'm sorry for those that had to suffer through it, but at least we know the audio is just good.
Nah, trust me, dude. The entire time editing the audio, I was doing my absolute best to try to EQ, noise gate, do the whatever I had to do to get that noise out. It wasn't happening, so I was like, "Fuck, okay."
It's all good, we try here, We're just a humble, simple little podcast over here, so we did our best. But hey, we changed it, so that's one thing out of the way.
Yeah, I was low-key getting cooked on the timeline.
Bro, I know. Dude, it's so funny because Eddie was actually the first person to tell me, and he's the one who told me, he had texted me the whole burrito thing, and he was just like, oh, I was heating up a burrito in the background, huh? And I was like, no. He was like, if it was a burrito, I'm sure it was an anaconda burrito. I was like, I mean, pretty good theory. No, but it was just a smoke detector.
Best burrito in California.
But shout out Mollis and Gio, who also hit me up, and I think someone else did, but I can't remember who. But besides that one note, I got really good feedback from a lot of people, and I really appreciate it. I appreciate everyone who actually listened to me and actually took something away from it. And even if you didn't, just the fact that you listened is amazing. And again, thank you. I doubted doing this for a long time, and I was very wary about it. But I'm happy we did it. I'm happy that we're here. I'm happy that we have this little community that we're forming. Seeing the numbers the day that it launched was kind of crazy because there were only a handful of people that I really knew, and then I told a couple more people. So I think even just on Instagram, we had 20 followers, and it jumped to 87. Well, actually, on the first day, it jumped to 80. No, 82. Around there. And right now, it's at 87. So thank you to everyone who followed on there, on TikTok, on YouTube, and on Spotify. I really appreciate it. And I realized that the audience demographic, at least on Spotify, because YouTube doesn't tell me yet, but on Spotify, it's pretty almost even with male and female, which is crazy because I know a lot of women-led podcasts tend to be more female. So starting off, cool. We have a good amount of guys. So what's up, guys? What's up, ladies? What's up, non-binary people?
They, them.
Yeah, I was like, what are the pronouns again? Sorry. I'm not the most politically correct all the time, but I try to be, so don't cancel me yet. Or actually, I'll probably just cancel myself already. I am canceled, so no one can cancel me. But I do try my best to be as politically correct as I can, and I have good intentions, especially with this podcast. I think, like I said, for a long time, I didn't know how to use my voice, and so now I really want to, and I think especially in the times that we're in right now, it's very important that myself as someone who's a female, someone who's Latina, someone who's just been so, everything in this world fights against me, even if, I don't think that the world is against me, but society, there's a lot of things going on right now that kind of proves that. And it gives me more motivation to want to use my voice and to really use it for good as much as I can, even if I can impact someone in some kind of way. I feel like I'll have done something right, and so the feedback that I got really, really made me feel so blessed. And even people that I didn't even know like that. There's people who listen to where like we know each other, but we don't know each other like that. And they still listen and they still give me feedback, and I feel so blessed. I truly, truly feel blessed. So I just wanted to take that moment to thank everybody. And, you know, times right now are kind of crazy. You know, gas prices are wild, airplane flights are wild, the world is crazy, the Supreme Court can go fuck themselves. And that's kind of what I want to talk about because, you know, like I said, I'm a female, I'm Latina. I feel like if I didn't talk about it, it would be doing a disservice to what I'm trying to do here. You know, it wouldn't be right for me not to talk about it. And if you don't like talking about politics, you don't like talking about this shit, well, tune out. But I think you can benefit from this. Especially, like I said, there's an equal amount of females and males that listen to this, apparently. It's actually 51% male, last time I checked on Spotify, and 49% women. So I hope not only the women can take something from this, but especially the men, because right now it's just, man, it's really fucking hard being a female. It really is. Like, I've always said this, and this isn't me trying to paint myself as a victim, because I'm not. It's just facts. There's so much in this fucking society, in this fucking country that works against women, and it's so fucking frustrating. It really is. Like, I think for a long time, like, I was someone who's very, very naive, and I acknowledge that, but time and time again, it's just, there's shit that happens, you know, like, okay, I'm gonna just state what the fuck I'm talking about, but Roe versus Wade getting overturned was probably the most disgusting thing I woke up to on what was it, Friday? And
yeah, Friday.
And it was just like, it was so mind blowing. Like, I was at work when I went on the internet and saw it, because I hadn't even checked when I first got up in the morning. I just went to work, and I just was so mind blown. And I know I'm not the only one. I know almost every single woman that I follow, and the women that they follow, everyone was fucking outraged. And I'm so blessed, and I don't want to, like, you know, commend men for doing something that they should be doing, but in a way I do want to. You know, like, I'm very fortunate that I have a lot of good men in my life, and I've always said this. I'm so blessed that I have men who have always looked out for me, who have always protected me, and who have protected the other women in my life. You know, although my other brothers and other friends, like, I have a very good core group of men, and even just men that, like, I mostly associate with, good group of guys, you know, like, I can tell that they felt outraged as well, because it's so fucking asinine. It's so stupid. It literally makes no fucking sense to me. Like, there should be such a separation of church. There's so many different ways that I can go with this, because we can just go into, like, just the fact that church and state aren't being separated here.
Let's start at the root, Lynn. Exactly, for people who aren't aware, I don't know how people cannot be aware of this, but what, in a simple way, what is Roe versus Wade?
It is our right to an abortion, essentially. And we have that right taken away from us on a federal level. Obviously, states, it's a little different, but there are so many states where they had trigger laws, I think it's called, in place. Okay, I want to get this off bat first of all. I am not the most educated person. I'm trying to be better about that, but I will say off bat, I'm not the most educated person, especially about politics. It's not my strong suit, and I will say there's been moments where I've been okay being ignorant, and as I've gotten older, I've been trying to get out of that and educate myself more. But I will say I'm not the most educated person. I am not a medical professional. You know, I'm a regular girl. You know, I'm a regular Latina girl, you know, from the alley. Okay,
don't get it twisted though. Lynn's a spicy Latina, better than your average.
Yeah.
But in this instance, yes, I do feel you as well, because I'm not that well versed in it.
Yeah, Lynn. Now I just want to say that off bat. I am just a regular girl, and I'm just gonna get that out of the way. However, I am so aware how much this affects me and so many other women out there, and it seriously just It's so gut wrenching because I saw so many women on my timeline, like on my For You page, just so outraged and literally in tears, crying. Spent most of Friday crying. Like I know people personally who were affected by this. You know, I've seen so many women say that now they don't feel safe enough to have children for medical reasons or because they just don't want to risk it because there's just so much with this, and it it's so frustrating to me that people don't realize how much this affects women, not even just women but men too, because it's like, dude, you come the men who don't understand this, like, you come from a female, like, you were born out of a woman, like, a woman gave you life, you know, and you have sisters, you have moms, you have cousins, you have nieces, you have there's so many women that make this world go round that are affected by this, and I will truly never understand. And I'm someone who I go out of my way to try and understand different people's perspectives. I really do. But just things like this, I truly cannot understand how people don't get that this isn't even it's just we have the right to have this choice. Like, we do. Like, I don't want anyone to be fucking telling me what the fuck I can do with my body, okay? And this isn't even about like how you feel about abortion, because at the end of the day that shouldn't matter. It's just the fact that our choices and our rights are being taken away. You can feel however, you don't have to like abortion. You really don't. You know, you can feel any type of way about it. However, my right to that shouldn't be taken away just because you're part of the fucking Jesus book club. Like, that's so fucking wrong. Like, there should be separation of church and state. Okay, there's, and it's not even just that. And this is the thing that a lot of people don't realize, but this affects people who are going through IVF. This affects people who, let's say, they get pregnant naturally and they want to get pregnant, and they have what's it called? An aptomic pregnancy. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but this affects them too. Like, if let's say I have an aptomic pregnancy and I go to a hospital, I can die because a lot of these fucking hospitals have to go through fucking lawyers to decide what the fuck to do with me instead of fucking treating me and getting that shit out of me, because technically, like, when you go through that, the steps to rectify that fall under an abortion. Same thing with a miscarriage. And it just blows my mind that you're giving these fucking little cells, it's not even, to me, like, it's not even life yet. And it's also just so frustrating that we have to reference those type of extremes instead of just like for me, example, most people in my life know this, but if you don't, I don't necessarily see children in my future. I never want to say never, because now I try not to, because you never know, you know. And I've said this, I've talked to a few people before that I would like to think that if I had a child right now, I wouldn't be able to, I know I wouldn't be able to give a child a good life. So theoretically, I would have an abortion. Would I be able to go through with it? I don't know, because I know how traumatic it is, and I know it affects women differently. But the fact that I can even think about it, the choice, like, that's the whole point. But anyways, I don't necessarily see children in my future. I just don't really see myself as a mom personally. And the fact that people want to force me to have a child, if let's say I'm careless one day and I don't use a condom and I happen to get pregnant, like, that's so fucked up. Like, there's just a lot of the reasons I don't want to have children is that I am so conscious of what it means to bring a child into this world. People just be having kids to have kids, and then half the time, sometimes they're neglected, sometimes their emotional needs aren't being met. Like, this is not a knock on my parents. I love my parents. They did the best that they could, and I recognize that. But I come from a broken home, and I know what it's like to feel emotionally neglected, to not have my emotional needs met, to not feel like I had people there for me in my corner. And there are so many kids who, and okay, let's go into the topic of like adoption. People are like, oh, well, put it for adoption. Do you know how many fucking kids there are in the fucking foster care system that want to be adopted? Like, it's not easy just to it's not easy. One, it's also just not easy to adopt a kid. People think it's easy, that there's just fucking parents waiting for them. No. And then there's some parents who are just like, oh, well, I don't want a teenager. I don't want a 5-year-old. I want a fresh baby. When there are so many kids just suffering, like there's just so many things wrong with this, and it's just like people are, see, I like, sometimes I'm at a loss of words for it because there's just so much that goes into it, and
it's frustrating, dude. And it's okay for you to be in a quote unquote like phase of like just stumbling with your thoughts and how you want to.
Because it's a lot. It is a lot.
It's a lot.
I want to say this off bat for the women that have cried, that have shed tears, that are angry. You're completely valid in everything that you're feeling, because society works so against us, and it's all for some constitution that was written fucking years ago by a bunch of men where women's rights didn't even fucking matter. And that's the thing, you know? Like, think about it like a fucking iPhone. We're constantly updating the software, right?
Constantly.
Don't you think that it should be like that for the fucking government, for the states?
You would think, but unfortunately in our society, in our country, we allow these old fucks who are barely hanging in there to dictate everyone's life.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we're seeing it currently right now. I mean, it's crazy to think that there are people in the House and in the Supreme Court and in the Senate that most of them don't have term limits.
Mm-hmm.
They could continue to do
and I
all
said
the
this
bullshit.
on Twitter, and I'll say this with my chest.
Insane.
If you're listening to this and you're conservative and you have different views, I would still say listen to this. Maybe you'll change your mind. Probably not. But this is not the podcast for you, because I am someone who has more liberal views when it comes to certain things. Like, I believe gay rights, I believe in women's rights, I believe in all of that.
Listen, conservative, liberal, any intelligent person would take this with
it's common sense.
Yeah.
And that's what's crazy to me, is that people don't see it as common fucking sense. But then again, common sense ain't so common. And it's like, it's the same fucking government that's trying to tell you, oh yeah, it shouldn't force you to have a kid. But it's the same fucking government where 192 Republicans voted against a $28 million deal to fucking help with the formula crisis. Like, this is also the same government that's done nothing about fucking gun control. How so many fucking kids are dying in schools where they're supposed to feel safe. Like, that's so fucking asinine to me.
But they could drop 40 billion out overseas.
And it's just like the priorities, and it's really sad, and it's really fucking embarrassing being from here. And being first gen, there's so much conflict with it, because especially sometimes when I talk to, you know, the older generation who immigrated here, you know, at the end of the day, I'm still very fucking grateful, and I know my privilege in this, that I was born here, that my parents came here to give me a better life, and that I was born here, and that I do have certain rights over some people. But at the end of the day, because I have those rights, I can use my voice. Like, I have the right to fucking be outraged and voice my outrage, just like everyone else. And it's so fucking annoying, and it's so fucking frustrating that a male's voice has more weight than my own. And that's why, like, I speak to the men who are listening to this, and I know I actually know a lot of you that listen to this. So I know who you are, and I know who you are at your core, and I know you guys have good intentions, but please, whatever you do, please protect the women in this that are in your lives, but just in general. Please vote. Please use your voice to advocate for the women who can't, you know? And it's just really annoying. And I know I keep repeating myself, but it's hard. It is. And I've seen so many men just stay quiet. Also women, but definitely more men. Also definitely more men with platforms. And it's so mind blowing to me because I know a lot of them have so many women in their lives that have influenced them, that have impacted them. And I know it's frustrating people like, for example, Vanessa. For those of you that don't know, she's a DJ. She's a house DJ, amazing DJ, and
Phenomenal.
she's even voiced about the men in her industry that have stayed quiet in all this. And it's like in any industry, so many people are, or even some women with platforms too. Just people are so scared to talk about this, like it's taboo, and I don't get it. Like you have a platform, there are so many people that follow you, and you choose to stay silent and not piss off like your sponsors or the people who you know give you brand deals and like whatever. And it's just so stupid to me because at the end of the day, none of that shit matters. At the end of the day, like your rights are still being taken away. The rights of women in your lives are still being taken away. Like even me, I am fortunate enough that I live in California where, a lot of these things don't affect me as much, but they still could because I don't know, like for those of you that I'm sure a good amount of you know this, or actually I don't know because I didn't really know this until recently, or I didn't think about it because I didn't think to put two and two together, but it makes sense once I heard it out loud. But there are a lot of hospitals, like always ask who or what your hospital is affiliated with, especially religiously, because there's a lot of hospitals that fall under Baptist or Catholic affiliation. And if you go into the hospital, for example, with an ectopic pregnancy, they can still, go through a whole review board or whatever about whether to treat you or how to treat you and not give you the proper attention that you need. And that's still fucked up because we live in California, which is more liberal, and we still have to go through that. So please, please, if you are pregnant, if you know someone who's pregnant, please make sure that they know to ask the hospital with what they're affiliated with. Because I'm sure there are people that don't know that. I didn't really know that until recently, although it did make sense once I heard it. I was just like two and two together. Like I said, I'm not the most educated person, but I do try, and like I said, I'm trying to educate myself more. And Eddie asked me recently because Vanessa told and asked him and Ernie, so they're part of Murder Weapon. If you know, you know. Like I work with them, amazing producers, amazing DJs. But like she told him, was like, why don't you speak more on women's rights? And it gave Eddie a moment to really step back. And he even asked me. He was just like, well, what do you want? Like, how would you feel best supported from us, like us men? And more than anything, it's just like I want you to use your voice because it does hold more weight. I want you to advocate for the women in your lives and all the women who can't, who feel fucking frustrated, who feel beat down, and for you to fucking listen. Because some men, like, not all men, but some men, they'll hear us complaining or they'll hear our frustrations, and sometimes it's not that we need you to fix the problem because we don't expect you to fix the problem right away, but we just want to feel heard more than anything. Because like I said, for a long time I felt unheard in more areas of my life, but when it comes to this, like especially, I think it's important for men to just sit and listen. You don't have to say anything, but just sit and listen and really digest how we feel. And I hope you can hear how frustrated, like I'm even getting emotional because it just makes me so sad that there are people in my life that are actually being affected by this. I know people who are being affected by this. Like I know people who have had abortions, and it's just like I know how different their lives would be if they didn't, and I know how much like it would affect them in the long run. And it's just like the fact that they had that choice. Now there are women who don't. There are so many women who are going to die so unnecessarily, and it literally pains me because like I'm the type of person where I'm not one to call myself an empath because I don't know, it sounds funny, but I do like certain things like this do weigh heavy on me, and like when I feel someone's pain, like I feel that. Like when I feel like someone's in pain, or just like I see so many people in pain over something like this, it does pain me. And because it is something so serious, and there's so just a lot.
I'll let you gather yourself, Lynn, and if you don't mind, I'll talk on a little bit about this. But so obviously, if y'all don't know who I am, my name's Aldo, and I just want to quickly say, like, the whole saying of like, oh, if they really wanted to, they would. Here's the thing about myself. So I've been damn near married for a decade, and my wife, damn near, yeah, shout out to Perla. Damn near for almost a whole decade has been on birth control, and she did it for the both of us. I'll go ahead and say that. Why? Because we don't want kids. Now, I recently got a vasectomy. No insurance, yeah. I don't want praise or anything, but I'm just saying it's the whole notion of if they really wanted to, they would. Me, I really for the longest wanted to do this, and truth be told, I don't have insurance, but it was not an expensive procedure. I dropped the stack, and it was probably the greatest investment I've ever done because one, and mind you, I'm a bit of a Neanderthal, but I didn't know how bad and how really dangerous birth control can be until last year when my stupid ass went on this whole tirade of like, you know, the whole vaccines and stuff like that. Don't want to really get too much into it, but point is I found out more stuff on birth control, and it really boggled my mind and really did push me to get the procedure. And truth be told, it's not that bad. It's reversible, and not only that, but you're definitely helping out women in this situation. You're helping them out tremendously because one, it's, you know, like I just mentioned, birth control is not, it's just something that really fucks with women's bodies really drastically, and then two, you're really, really short, like almost 0% that you could get a woman pregnant. And right now, in these times, it's very drastic and it's very important to, like Lynn was saying, to protect women. And let me go ahead and just say one more thing about the whole, you know, women potentially could die off this. This is very true because here's the thing: two things happen. One, a woman could get pregnant, they'll try to get an abortion, find out they can because wherever state they're in, they don't allow it. So guess what? Just like drugs and anything that's illegal, they'll go and try to do it the illegal way. And the illegal way, there's no sanctions, there's no protection. Very dangerous. And then two, not for nothing, but say someone is pregnant, something happens where the baby inside the womb is, for whatever reason, unresponsive. You mean to tell me you're gonna have a woman continue the pregnancy knowing the baby's dead? That's something very, very, like, that just does not.
Well, it's fucked up, but also that again can kill her as well. And the proper way to remove a baby, even when they miscarriage, is qualifies under an abortion, and it's so fucked up. And to get on that topic of like vasectomies and birth control in general, like, bro, they're trying to come after birth control next, which makes even less fucking sense because it's like, okay, one, you're already taking our rights away for abortion, but now you're trying to take birth control away. Like the math does not math at all. And on top of that, like he said, birth control. There was actually a challenge on TikTok for a while where girls were showing their boyfriends the pamphlets or like the little booklets of the side effects of birth control. And the men were so fucking shook about all the side effects of birth control, about all the dangers of birth control. The look on men's face when they were reading all this shit, they're like, y'all gotta deal with this. And like, I've heard this twice now from other influencers who I follow, which, you know, I appreciate that they're actually using their platform for good. But they brought on the topic of the fact that women our whole fucking lives were working to make sure that men are not like inconvenienced, and how fucked up that is. Birth control, at the end of the day, like when people talk about sex, they're like, oh, well, are you on birth control? Do you know how many fucking times I've gotten that question by men? And I'm like, okay, well, do you have a condom? And the amount of times, most of the time, men won't even bring condoms. And I'm like, bro, you have one job. And they're like, well, you're not on birth control. And I'm like, Okay, but do you know how much birth control affects me? Yes, no, I'm not on birth control. Yes, I can get pregnant, and that's my choice because I know the fucking effects of birth control, and I've been on birth control before, and that shit fucked me up terribly, which is why I am a little scared to go back on it. I am considering it because there are different kinds that would be less shitty, but again, it's like picking the lesser evil. Ah, like please, man, look
Point
up.
is, you still gotta do something to yourself
Exactly.
for them.
It's the fact that I have to affect the hormone balance of my body. Like, are you fucking serious? And the amount of times that I've bought cotton, don't get me wrong, it should be the responsibility of both people too. But at the same time, like the fact that the responsibility ends up falling more on the women half the time is so fucking crazy to me. Like at the end of the day, we're the ones who are affected the most. If we get pregnant, we either have to go through that choice of having to have an abortion. That's if we have the choice, depending on what state we live in. But also, we have to go, and let's say we do have it, we have to go through the trauma of it. And even though for some women, it's a little, I will say for some women, it does affect them a little differently. I have had friends who they had an abortion and they were able to go about their day a little bit easier. And I do have some friends who were traumatized from their abortion. I understand it. Like I said, you don't have to like it. You don't have to agree with it, but it's just the fact that we lose the choice of it. And then I lost my train of thought, but it's so funny to me because these people brought on the topic of the fact that our whole lives we're working to women are trying to inconvenience men. Like it blows my fucking mind the amount of times I've had to make sure that I have condoms on me because I can't always trust the fact that the man will, okay? And I can't, when at the end of the day it's gonna fuck us up. Like, you can't guarantee, because there are some piece of shit men that fucking walk out on their fucking kids, you know? Again, I'm very fortunate about the men in my life that all the men in my life are amazing, amazing fathers who, when, they did have moments where they had a child and it wasn't exactly planned, they stepped up, but not everyone's fucking like that. And there are times where it's just the fact that we have to talk about these extremes to get our point across when it shouldn't be. Like I said, Aldona and Perla, and I have a lot of other friends who don't want children. Like, why can't that just be the sole reason, we have that right? I don't want a fucking child. It should be that simple. Why does it have to be such an extreme of, like, when we bring in, like, rape and atomic pregnancies and, like, all this shit? Like, it shouldn't have to go to those extremes, and it's so frustrating. And I really, really hope that this, like, me talking about this can help. One, I hope that, women feel validated for how they feel right now, because of course it's okay. All your feelings are completely valid. And I hope that for the men, like, it kind of drives home the responsibility that they should carry in advocating for the women in their lives and just for women in general, because it is a lot and it is really frustrating. And I keep using that word, but it's the only way to explain it. And it's so fucked up, the shit that we gotta go through, and the fact that they're trying to come for gay rights next and gay marriage. I'm like, oh, please. I'm so tired, I saw someone on TikTok say how, she lives in Europe, but she's American, so she's on European TikTok. And that it's so embarrassing being from here because so many people in Europe make jokes about, like, oh, I can't believe when I was a kid, I wanted to move to America. What a joke. And because our country is a joke, we're a fucking third world country with a Gucci belt. And it's really sad and pathetic because we're also the same fucking country that doesn't guarantee maternity leave for women. Can't even fucking fix this formula shortage. Can't even protect our children at schools. And it's just it blows my mind, the bullshit that we got to deal with in this country. And I understand, my privilege in that I live in California and it is a little bit easier for me. Like, I can't even imagine the pain that women are feeling that live in red states, in states that, you know, aren't as liberal, because I can't even imagine. Like, I really can't. I am fortunate that I am here, and you know, and I have seen women, you know, really come together in this though. Like, I've seen many women, you know, put on their platforms like, hey, you know, if for some reason, and there's women using code words, like, where, you know, they'll say certain things like, oh, that it's legal to camp in California, or like wherever they're from, where it's legal to, you know, have an abortion. And it's like, if you ever need assistance in camping, or if you need help, or you need somewhere to stay, like, they're putting themselves out there. And it's amazing what we as women can do when we come together. And it blows my mind, the women that are for this. Like, I truly don't understand it. And but I try to look at it in that, like, a lot of times, again, it's the way that you're brought up, and it's those things that are instilled in you, and but it's at the same time, like, I don't understand, like, how can you look at your kid in the face and tell them, like, if they go through this and they're pregnant, like, you have to go through this. But then at the same time, there's so many resources that are being withheld from women to be able to really succeed, and be able to be like, okay, if I get pregnant and I have this baby, I can fully support it. I'm gonna have full backing of X, Y, and Z. Like, no, like, you can't guarantee that shit, and it's just a lot. And
As of right now, though, I do advise all the men out there that are, you know, for women to actually step up and protect women, especially during these times, and look out for them, because clearly ain't nobody coming to save us and shit. So.
And it's just all about, like, looking out for each other, and as a whole in general, you know. I know, like, even the gay men in my life, like, they understand, you know, we're all, like, all of our rights in some way or another are being threatened. And it's really sad that this is just the beginning. There's going to be so many more things that they literally said it. They're going to come after more stuff. And then that and it's just like, it's just basic human rights. It all comes down to that. And again, there's so many more things I can go into, because this topic is so broad, and there's so many things I can say, but
it's deep, dude.
It is deep, and
definitely you should right now protect your energy.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, like, I just want you guys to know that this little podcast that I have, I will always do my best to advocate for other people and use my voice as best as I can. And I feel like you need to as well. Women, men, they, everybody, he, she, they, everybody, use your voice right now. It's so important. Please vote. Please go and vote. You know, I know some people don't think that it matters, but clearly it does, because at the end of the day, like, all this that we're going through right now are a result of, you know, choices and things that were made in the past, and we can't change that at this point, but all we can do is do better for the future. You know, we've all made mistakes in the past. This country has made a ton of mistakes in the past, but all we can do is push each other as much as we can to move forward, and, you know, move with love, and move with positivity, and move with good energy. I really believe that. And, you know, like I said, I'm not a perfect person. I'm not the most educated person, but I will do my best that I can to, you know, become more knowledgeable and use my voice. And you should too. And I know this is a heavy topic, but I wouldn't feel right if I didn't talk about it. So that hopefully, you know, share this with someone that doesn't understand, and share this with other people so that they can hear my frustrations and have an idea of how other women feel. And, you know, ask the women in your lives, like, talk to them about these things. I know it's not an easy thing to talk about, you know, but ask them how they're doing, ask them how they're feeling, you know, and don't just ask to ask. Don't one of the things that frustrate me sometimes are people, and I've been guilty of this, and I can acknowledge that. I acknowledge that too. People who listen to respond. People who listen to just give an answer. And sometimes that's not what people need. Sometimes you just need to listen. Listen and actually hear and feel what they're saying, you know? And I think right now, like, please give your mom a hug, give your sister a hug. You know, if anything, I have little cousins, you know, I have friends who have daughters, you know, who mean a lot to me, you know, and I wouldn't feel right looking them in the face if I didn't use my voice somehow. You know, like, how can I look at them and set an example if I don't do what I can to advocate for myself and them? You know, and really think about that. Think about the younger generation, the like little girls in your life, and if anything, fight for them. And also educate the little boys in your life. You know, the young men in your life. I think it's very easy to just see it as a woman's problem, but it's not. It's everyone's issue because it affects everyone in some way to some degree. You know, and if my lash is all sideways, I don't even care. But
Nah, you're good.
you know, and I really appreciate everyone who listens to this. And if you actually listen to all of this, which I hope you did, because this was, you know, a lot. And there were a couple, and there were certain talking points where I don't even know if I hit them, because when I came into this, I was really thinking about it a lot because I really wanted to articulate this, but well, and I'm not sure if I did because I know I rambled a little bit, but I spoke from the heart, and that's all I can do, and that's all I can ever do is speak from the heart, and I hope that it's sunk in your brain and your heart as well. So, yeah, I think I will definitely, I definitely want to post certain resources. There are abortion funds that you can donate to or that you can share so that other people can donate to. I know Vanessa on her page has a fundraiser going on for Planned Parenthood, and I will link those on socials. So for sure, check those out or at least share them. Even sharing them can go a long way. Even sharing this episode so that other people can have an understanding of like what it feels like to be a female, you know, and the frustrations that we go through, because it's a lot, you know. And I feel like times like this, you really can see where people stand and like how they choose to use their voice and how they choose to advocate for other people. And like I said, I'm really blessed that a lot of the people in my lives, most of the people listening to this, you know, they feel it and they're outspoken about it. I know it was a heavy topic.
It's all good, dude.
But, you know, like when it comes to this podcast, I don't get me wrong, we're gonna have a lot of fun. And I did say that from the jump, and I still stand by that. But I also want to use it to talk about things like this. Especially being Hispanic, a lot of the times like these topics aren't really talked about. You know, in a lot of times in Hispanic households, it's very easy to kind of like turn away from certain topics and like not go into them as much. And I don't want to be like that. I definitely want to just like break the mold because I am not a traditional person, and I have a very more open mind, and I can look at different perspectives, which is one of my favorite traits about myself.
Speaking of fun, you have a really fun weekend,
I did. Nice little segue. But yes, like I said, we move with love and energy, as I did this weekend. So, you know, lighten up the mood. I'm going to get into what I did this weekend. I hope y'all had a great weekend. I had a good weekend. Oh, I definitely want to shout out my friend Nicole. I'm so proud of you. She graduated from CSUN. Ooh, let's go. I'm so proud of you. And personally, I didn't go to college. Well, I did for a little bit. Didn't graduate from college. And so for me, I always admire people who do because I know how hard it is. I've seen Nicole. You know, she worked really hard for it and she did it, and I'm so proud of you. And we celebrated that on Friday, which was a lot of fun. You know, we couldn't pick a theme, so we went with two. We went with Hello Kitty and fucking Bob's Burger, which is really funny, and it was a lot of fun. And I love times like that. I didn't stay very long because I had a long day. I had a full day the next day, but I did have a good time. And shout out to everyone who made that possible for her. You know, I'm happy she had a great time. I had a great time. I was high as fuck with my little Capri Sun in hand. And I'm still strong, guys. Almost a whole month of sobriety. I'm almost there.
Almost there, dude. Just a few more days.
I know. You know, I noticed. I mean, obviously, alcohol affects your body, but one thing for sure, you know, my period definitely did not hurt as much this month. And I know alcohol does affect that too, so it was cool. Less painful period. And also, this weekend was a lot of fun. You know, I went on a date on Saturday, which was cool. You might be listening to this, so I don't want to get into it too much, but it was a lot of fun. It was a nice first date. You know, I'm this type of person. You know, everyone's different with dates. You know, some people would just do dinner and whatnot, but I do appreciate when you do activities. And you know, we went to the little swan boats in Echo Park, which was fun because I've never done that. And then we went to eat. And we went to Santa Monica Pier. And we went to a little flea market. You know, it was a fun day. You know, it was a lot of fun.
Eventful day.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I was so tired afterwards though. It was hot. Like, living in the valley, you low-key live in the devil's asshole because it'd be hot as fuck out here.
It's a frying pan is what it is.
Yeah, man, it's been like, what, 100 degrees most of this week? It's rough out here. But I'm not going to be in the valley this coming weekend. I'm going to San Jose, and I'm so excited because I miss... So, my gay husband, my gay bestie, the love of my life, my soulmate, Julio Peppers, lives in San Jose. For those of you who don't know who that is, that literally is my other half. Him and I used to live together, which was a lot of fun. And ever since then, we've become like this. Except that dumb bitch moved far away. He lives in San Jose now. But I'm gonna go visit him this weekend, and I'm so fucking hyped. I miss him so much. I actually really like San Jose. It's a cute little city. And we're gonna do a whole bunch, and I'm so excited. And if I come back with a tattoo, mind your business. And don't tell my dad. Just kidding. He'll probably see it. And then he'll just shake his head like he always does. When I come home with like a piercing or something. I remember when I came back with, so I only have one tattoo, and it's like the back of my ear. And I remember when he saw that, he just looked at me like just shaking his head. Because not only did I get that one at that time, but I also got my septum pierced. And I think I just got those two. But yeah, my dad's never surprised about the things that I do anymore. He just kind of shakes his head, and he just kind of goes with it at this point. But yeah, I'm very excited. San Jose is going to be fun. We're going to explore. I'm going to meet up with Leslie. Shout out Leslie. And I'm going to meet up with a friend who I actually haven't seen in like years. I don't know if you remember my friend Destiny. But
Des?
yeah.
Oh, shout out Des.
Dude, she lives in San Jose, and I didn't see her the last time I was out there, but I am so excited. I hit her up. I was like, yo, I'm going to be in San Jose this weekend. We got to link up. I'm going to link up with her and Leslie, and then Nancy's going to meet up with us in San Jose on Sunday. So it's going to be a good time. I think I might like take a couple of videos, make a few TikToks, so stay tuned. You will see it. It will be after a month-long sobriety too. I think it's so funny how it worked out. How month of sobriety, and now the first weekend I can drink is gonna be with Julio. That's gonna be a messy.
That first drink's about to slap the shit out of you.
I know. It's gonna be Julio Peppers, Lit Lynn, Lit Leslie, and Pansy. I don't have a name for Destiny yet, so
we'll call her Desi Des.
But it's gonna be a good time, and I'm so excited. And I will tell you guys all about it next week for sure. But yeah, it's gonna be a good time. I'm excited, and I think we're gonna hit up San Francisco for a bit. And this might be a controversial take or a hot take or unpopular opinion. But San Francisco's cool, but I don't think it's all that either. I think it's like just a little overrated.
It's not a hot take at all.
Okay, cool. It's not just me. I don't know. I mean, it's cool. Don't get me wrong. I enjoy it personally. I do have fun, but I think it's just slightly overrated.
No, San Fran is great. It's just at least I'll speak for myself, but San Fran is too nice.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like dogs don't even bark out there. Like that shit tripped me out when I was out there like a few times.
I mean, it's not even just that. It's just I don't know. Bay Area people don't hate me, please. But I don't know. It's just like slightly overrated. But they have good food. I've had some good food out there. Dolores Park is cute. I enjoy it. It's cool. So I'm gonna enjoy myself while I'm out there. And then Thursday we have group chats party. I think they're gonna be doing monthly parties. I think they said. And their first one is this Thursday, and I'm super excited. By the time you guys hear this, we'll probably already have gone there, or we're gonna go there. I think I'm gonna get. I want this up maybe Thursday, so
I will work my ass off.
So like hopefully Thursday, Friday, whenever this is up, the party's already happened. But
wait a minute. You know what I just thought of?
What?
How late do you want to be at the loft?
I don't know, it depends. It also depends what time they play, because for sure I want to see Ivar, and for sure I want to see Ray Burger. Shout out the homies, they're amazing.
All I'm saying is past midnight I'm getting you drunk.
No, I don't want to get too drunk. I have a flight,
I'm
dude.
just playing. I'll get you a drink.
I know. I was talking about that with Eddie and other people. If you guys hear me slapping my thigh a lot, I'm so sorry. I don't mean to do that. I'm so sorry. But anyways, yeah. As soon as I hit I was honestly debating that. I was like, do I want to drink as soon as it hits midnight? That feels like slightly alcoholic-ish. But or do I want to wait till I'm in San Jose? I don't know.
Actually, never mind. Because I was about to get ready to buy you a drink, but that first real drink in San Jose will slap.
Well, actually, when I land, so there's this coffee shop that I found on TikTok that I had shown to Julio that I've been wanting to go to, and he told me, he's like, oh yeah, Isabel and Vanessa have been there. They said it's cool, and it's not too far from the airport, so we're gonna go there first. So I'm gonna have coffee and stuff first, and then probably just chill. To be honest, because he still has work when I get there, so I might hit the gym too. So we just might wait till he's off to drink. So
Good choice.
So I don't know. Maybe I'll get a drink when I'm at the airport. Maybe I'll drink while I'm at the loft. I don't know. You guys will find out next week. Would I fill you guys in on everything? I'll give you guys a whole story time about how the weekend went. Because dude, obviously those who know me and know Julio and Leslie know how crazy we can get. But those that don't know me, yeah, I just trust me. I'm sure there's gonna be a few good stories from this weekend for sure. I'm trying to think. Yeah, because with Julio and I together are a menace to society. Now, Julio, me, Leslie, and Nancy together, that's
fatal four-way.
Period. But we're fun. We're fun. I can guarantee you, we're a good time. Now, there might be. I mean, there's been chances where security may have been called, where certain someones have had to disguise themselves to get away from security or run away, or so let's hope we don't have to repeat that, but I'm sure we'll have a good time. I'm sure there's gonna be some kind of story there. I mean, he wants to take me to Aki's, and just Aki's alone is okay. So there's this spot in San Jose where they make these drinks so strong that they literally only limit you to. Like you can only buy two. And the last time we were there, luckily they had switched bartenders, like they had switched shifts. So Julio took advantage of that, and he kind of hid the cups that we already had, like kept them from view, and he went to the bartender and bought more. So we got really fucked up. And I didn't believe him. I was just like, man, I'm sure it'll be fine. But nah, dude.
Them shit slap.
Bro, those were strong as fuck. I know and mind you, I haven't drank in a month, so I know that shit's gonna smack the fuck out of me. I'm scared. Well, it was like, be prepared to wake up hungover on Saturday. And I was like, please no. I don't like being hungover now because I don't know, like ever since I turned 25, when I'm hungover, I feel so useless the next day. Like I can still rally. I'm still young enough to where like I can rally, but it's getting a lot harder to rally. And you know, I want to have energy to be able to do everything we want to do because we want to hit San Francisco. We also want to hit up Big Sur, which was going to be a lot of fun, and we want to hit up a couple places in San Jose. We have a whole agenda, and I'm like, I can't be useless. I can't be hungover. I want to be like on a cute drunk, which will be pretty easy considering my tolerance is definitely lowered. So I'm excited. And I know I've said that a million times, but dude, anybody that knows me knows how excited I've been about this trip, and I haven't been able to shut up about it because I just miss Julio so much. That's my bitch, okay? Like, I definitely want to do an episode with Julio one day, and you guys will see our dynamic yourselves. Our dynamic is just, it's so special. We have this special little bond. You know, it's a lot of shit talking, but it's also a lot of love, and I love that hoe. I miss when he lived here and he used to, oh man, when we used to live together, that shit was so funny because he was also going through a hoe phase. And I loved when he would just come home and we'd buy food and he would just tell me about his little excursions that he'd be on. Such a wonderful time. But I'll definitely save those stories for when he actually comes on here. But I think that's it, guys. You know, it was such a heavy topic to begin with, and I did want to kind of end it on a light note. You know, talk about my weekend, talk about the upcoming weekend. Next week.
Oh shit!
I'm already thinking like far ahead, but next week for sure it'll be more light. It'll be more fun. I'll tell you about how San Jose went. I'll tell you about how the group chat party went. But I'm sure the group chat party. I'm sure it was lit. I'm sure it was amazing. Everyone go check out group chat. Everyone go check out Ivar. Everyone go check out Raybird. Those are the homies, and I love them a ton. But yeah, you know, thank you. If you listen to all this, just know I appreciate you. I love you, and I'm sending you a lot of good and positive energy, especially right now in these trying times. But remember, we are not victims. We are survivors. We will challenge this. We will fight for what we deserve because we deserve everything. We deserve the world. We deserve our rights. You know, please go into this next weekend with a lot of love, a lot of energy, and you know, just protect each other and just be there for each other through these times. And yeah, follow us, subscribe to us. Also comment. Let me know how you're feeling about this. Let me know if you like this. Let me know if I ramble too much. And yeah, I hope you guys, you know, have a good one. Love you guys.